Hello and welcome. This is Esraa.Abu-Eslieh. I'm a master's student at University of Okan in Istanbul, Turkey. This article is for course Project 2 under the supervision of Professor Samih Ali Yıldız. The title of this article is Ecological Refugee Campus. As we all know, the number of refugee camps around the world are rapidly increasing, either because of natural disasters or handmade ones, and most of those refugee camps depend on fossil fuels for energy. So, in this article, we are going to combine between the ecological applications in the eco-villages and install them in refugee camps. The keywords are eco-villages, prototype for eco-refugee campus, and ecological techniques for eco-villages. In the introduction, there are two main definitions. The first one is eco-villages, which is a small, self-sufficient society that mainly depend on the natural surroundings to provide it with energy and their needs. The other definition is refugee campus. Refugee camps are a place to provide temporary accommodation for people who have been forced to flee their homes. After that comes the eco-techniques for eco-villages. There are 10 techniques that could be used in a refugee campus that are taken from eco-villages. The first one is sustainable park. Sustainable parks can be turned into recycling center. Also, children could be involved in collecting bottles and metals in certain places for entertaining and recreational purpose. The other one is social energy system. PV cells could be installed on the roofs or the balconies of the houses to provide them with electrical energy or heat and cool the water, or in some cases to lighting. The third one is wind energy systems. Most wind turbines will not be used in a refugee campus, but in this case, due to the location and the fact that there are no buildings next to the site of this refugee camp, it could be applicable. Especially small turbine could be very useful in this case. Rain collection systems. Rain collection systems install small tubes on the roofs of the house, and the small tubes could lead into a tank. This tank could be located next to the houses or underneath it. It could provide water for irrigations or with some filtration for human use. Similar to the rain collection, grey water collection, water could be collected from many resources and filtered, and then after that it goes for irrigations, or with some special filtration it could be used for human activities. Another important techniques that could be used in a refugee campus are a creation of common district area, such as laundry, shop, commercial, recreational, or school or hospital. This will create a social place and decrease the energy that are used if these functions were separated. Solar heating and cooling. Solar heating and cooling are two systems for benefiting from the sun to heat and cool the water. It is very useful for refugee campus and it can help to reduce the energy. Light tube also uses the sun. It transfers the light from the sun to a light inside the room. Heat pump. Heat pump is a device that converts energy from a source of energy to a thermal heat. It absorbs heat from a cold room and releases it in a hotter one. This device could reduce the use of energy in the camp. Sensor lighting system is a system that used to detect movement in the surrounding. It can turn on or off the lighting. This system could be very helpful in streets or social areas and could really reduce the energy of the camp. The next section is the type of settlement. There are 3 types of settlement that could be used. Of course, there are many types, but those are the ones that I chose. The first one is the hex house. It's conceived as a sustainable, rapidly depulped structure based on structural insulated panel technology, which can be shifted, flat pack, and easily assembled. It is very flexible and permanent and could be used as permanent or temporary structure. The next one is IKEA flat pack shelter. IKEA came up with this idea as a temporary shelter. The system is extremely flexible and it's easy to move and easy to put together. It can be improved when a longer stay is required. The last one, the Cortex shelter, which is the one that I chose in my project. This rollable concrete fabric that hardens in place when hydrated is a very good solution for settlement. It can be built in a single day and lasts up to 30 years. In the next section, a comparison between eco-villages and refugee campus. This comparison could be showed in the matrix. There are two main factors. First of all, the project data, and the second is the ecosystem. The project data consists of the city, the residents, the year, the project completion, and the population, and the cost of projects and area. All this information help us to compare between all these 10 case studies. The other factor is ecosystems. The ecosystems that are chosen in the study are transportation, buildings, materials, solar energy, rainwater collecting, greywater treatments, energy from renewable. And after that, a SWOT analysis was done to analyze this data. There are 10 case studies. The first one in Canada, the second one in Italy, the third one is in the UK, and there are 6 case studies that are located in Turkey, and the last one is in Palestine. As the data shows in this matrix, those are international, national, and local case studies. All of them, they started from various years, and they have been completed also in various years, and some of them are still improving. The population varies also. Some have 1,000, others have 150%, and others have 19,000 and something person. All this data help us to compare between all the case studies. Also, the area varies from one location to another. The most common or similarity between them is that the area is very big for this number of people. In regard of, the transportation system is the least transportation. The transportation system and greywater treatment are the least one to be used. Mostly the transportation system was neglected, knowing that it was the main source for fossil energy use in all of them. Building material and solar energy are the most used one, and they mostly have been applied in all the case studies. Rainwater collection also appeared in some case studies, and in others are still developing. For renewable energy, some case study invented their own renewable energy. Others, they are still promoting to use renewable energy, such as in North Cyprus, in Turkey. Most cases, they did not have renewable energy. Going back to the conclusion, there are a SWOT analysis to analyze the whole comparison between those 10 case studies. The strengths are that all eco-villages have very successful ecological systems, and some actually invented their own system. The most used ecological system are solar panels. It is very useful and it can be installed anywhere. All the case study created their ecological system for building. They used local materials, local architects and builders to construct their houses. Mostly all cases have a system to collect energy from renewable sources. The weaknesses: the greywater system is the least system to be used. The transportation ecological design also is not considered in most of the cases, although They promote walking and cycling. The residents are very few comparing to the areas of the eco-villages, and this weakness does not apply on a refugee campus because very large number of people live in a small area. The threats actually lies in the transportation system because it is very consuming and there are less attention to it. The opportunities, the grey water system can be very useful and they are promoting it. Also, if more people tend to live in eco-villages, less energy and power will be used in the whole world, and creating and using local materials and constructive methods can be a good opportunity to reduce energy. In the design, as it shows, the location that I chose for the refugee campus is in North Idlib, Syria, because they are actually in war right now. The area is 23 hectares. The section shows that is very suitable for a refugee campus. The transportation shows that it is directly connected with M4, which is a main highway that is also connected directly with another highway in Turkey, which is called E91. The next slide shows the master plan of the refugee campus that I suggested. There are three main blocks for this plan. The first block is residential block. This block is mainly residential. It has from 16 to 19 houses, and everyone can host up to 7 people. So in total, 100 to 110 persons can live in this block. Also, it has a park for recreation and social purposes. The next block is commercial and administrative block. This block has two functions. It has a commercial center where local residents can sell and buy their goods, and an administrative building. The third one could actually host 3 functions: residential, administrative, and social. This block has 10 houses, so 17 to 80 people can live in there. Also, it has a school, so another 20 kids could go to school, an administrative building that could be turned into a social place for events. In the last section of the design part, you can see ecological features that could be applied on the eco-refugee camp. There are light tubes, solar panels, rain collection, and grey water collection. All this, of course, it needs to be improved more, and it needs to help people more to provide them an easier life. But this is the end of my presentation. I would like to thank all of you for listening to me. I hope you enjoyed it, because I did. Thank you for Professor Samih. He was a great help during all of this. Thank you.